Hey everybody, time for some ExoSym Q&A. So, why am I doing this video? First and foremost, I am getting a ton of questions about the devices and thought it would be best to make a video to answer all those questions that I've been asked, time and time again, so I can point others to it as a resource and other people can share it as well. Secondly, I want to spread awareness about the device because I believe it is so incredible and not well known. So I want to try to get the word out there a little bit more. So I hope this helps answer your questions. I've made a list of the questions and I'll be reading through them on the screen behind here as we go through. So let's start off by saying that I'm not a doctor. I have no medical background. So I suggest you talk to your orthopedic doctor, the Hanger Clinic directly, maybe an HTC if you're a hemophiliac as well. But talk to the people out at that Hanger Clinic to see if you're a good candidate. And they can give you more background and information on the device and see if you're a good fit. And you can get that information by emailing exosym@hanger.com, which I'll put in the description below so you can do that. So what are they? They're called an ExoSym device, and they're basically an advanced AFO or an orthotic, and they kind of act like a prosthetic leg on the outside of your actual leg. They were developed by Ryan Blanc for the military, and they are now available for the general public or civilians. So how do they work? So they work similar to how an ankle fusion would be. The foot plate is pretty solid across the bottom, doesn't move, goes the full length of the foot, keeping it still and taking up all the weight bearing. The rods in the back flex to propel you into your next step, kind of act like your calf or the ankle joint itself. Not much flexion, but when you put a lot of weight on there, it will bend, as you can see in like slow motion videos of me running or something like that. You'll be able to see a little bit of bend. And the cuff at the top is the key to the whole device. It's where you can control the device. It's where you're controlling your balance through, and what you can lean against to reduce the weight bearing on the ankle joint itself. So what condition do I have and why do I need them? So I'm a severe hemophiliac, and from bleeding into my ankle joints over the years, they're basically shot. They're bone on bone and very arthritic, and they were recommended, both of them, to have a fusion done to them. So what conditions can get these devices? Basically anything that affects the lower leg. Clubfoot seems to be one of the big ones that I've seen so far from other patients. Lower leg injuries, car accidents, they're all options that I've seen so far. So why get them over an ankle fusion or replacement? So the reasons I chose this over a replacement or fusion is because replacements are not up to the same standard as like knee replacements are, and they don't last as long. They also can't take the beating that I would put on them personally through the activities that I do. Fusions were recommended to me by the doctors. However, I don't like the idea of fusions. They lock your foot in place, and then the 27 different joints that are in your foot will have to take up the brunt of it. I already have narrowing in some of those joints in my feet from compensating my ankle the way it is right now, so why cause more pain there? When I can have this device, and these device takes the force so the rest of your joints won't have to do that. And these devices leave the door open for the future. So let's say the perfect ankle replacement does come out, I can get that later. Or even better yet, they come up with an effective cartilage regeneration technique, and I'll be all set for that. But I wouldn't have any problem being in these indefinitely at this point. How long have I had them? Well, I've had them since around Memorial Day this year. How did I hear about them? I actually heard about them through Instagram, believe it or not. I saw another hemophiliac who had one, and he was running and biking and doing Spartan races and all sorts of stuff like that. So I just asked, what is that and how do I get one? So thanks again, Kevin, for pointing me in the right direction there. Why was it that I only heard about them on Instagram and not a doctor? Well, I don't really know. Maybe a good question to ask the Hanger Clinic or ask the doctors themselves, the orthopedic doctors. Why aren't they doing their research and knowing about these things? Maybe it's a money thing for the orthopedic doctors, I don't know. In my opinion, what makes a good candidate? So I'll be pretty blunt here. You can't be soft. You have to put in a ton of effort to get these devices to work for you. I have no problem saying that, the Hanger Clinic can probably create the device that will fit your condition and your needs specifically, but being a good candidate is on you and the level of effort that you're willing to put in. Where did you get them? Well, the only place in the entire world is to get them at the Hanger Clinic in Gig Harbor, Washington state. Why is that? So one thing to note is Ryan and the team are committed. Ryan would text me every night out there and ask how things are, how the day went for me walking in them as I was learning. He's also still in contact with me, all the time now and asking how things are going. I actually just sent him videos today to check my gait for walking and jogging and running. So they're very committed. And what Ryan has tried to do is he's tried to train others to do this, but they just don't put in the same level of effort and commitment that he does to make sure that you're successful, that these devices are successful. And I kind of understand that. It's like owning your own business. No one's really going to put in the same work as you are, or work as hard as you are as the owner. So I get it. Just wish there was something that I could do to make sure that this practice kind of continues and is progressing. So what was the process to get them? So first you need to request forms from the Hanger Clinic by emailing them. Then when you return the forms, you must submit videos of your current walking. How you walk a couple times from the side, a couple times walking forward at the camera, close up on the legs. These are all things that they use to see if you're a good candidate or not. Then you'll need to get a referral from your doctor. As a hemophiliac, I used my HTC to get it because they have all the information on me. They know what's going on. It's not going to have to go in for a consultation and all that other kind of stuff. There's a little trick there to avoid the co-pays of going to an orthopedic surgeon again. And then if you get approved by the Hanger Clinic, then you have a couple options. You can either go out to Gig Harbor and get fitted, and then leave, come back, get the devices, and do the training in 2 separate trips, or you could do it all in one long trip, which is what I did. So what's involved in training? So it's both a physical and mental process. So what they do is they cast your legs, they make a plastic mock version to try it out, test the fit, and with that plastic mock-up version, you learn how to take your first steps and basic movements. And to be completely honest with you, I wanted to tell them to shove it on my first couple steps. I couldn't believe I actually had ankle pain. I just spent a ton of money to prevent ankle pain, and now I have it in these plastic mock-up versions. So kind of got me a little frustrated there, but there's certain things that you need to do to walk in these devices, and it's basically things you should be doing to walk normal anyway. Use your hamstrings, your glutes, your core. Things you probably haven't used in years because you've been trying to prevent pain. As we went through it with Ryan, he asked, did I feel any good steps? And I said, yeah, maybe, one or two. And that's when he said, now you know how hard you will have to work to get these devices to work for you. But with that being said, the difference between these plastic mock-ups and the real deal will be completely night and day. So the next day, I got the real devices, and you could definitely tell the difference. Still some pain, but the pain was basically all caused by me. Everything that you used to do to prevent pain will cause pain now. Pressing down with your foot will cause pain to try to widen your, area, the stable. That will cause pain. Not straightening out your leg will cause pain. Walking on the side of your foot will cause pain. But as I progressed, and still to this day, the pain was less and less and is less and less. By the end of the week, I was running in the parking lot, which I haven't done in 10, 15 years, somewhere in there. And what I thought wouldn't even be possible based on the first few days of training and those first few steps in that plastic mock-up. So it's pretty amazing. So just be prepared for some disappointment and some frustration, but I promise it gets better. When you come home, you'll be encouraged to go through physical therapy to get your glutes and hamstrings and your core back up to par, which I'm going through right now, and I should be done next week. So here's a big one. This one gets asked a lot. How much are they? They're $9,000 a device. That's 18 G's for these puppies here. But I promise you, it is worth every single penny, in my opinion. And kind of in line with that, the next question is, does insurance cover them? Nope, not 1 cent. Not for me anyway. I've heard of some people getting, maybe a small portion of it covered. If you're a veteran, then I think maybe there may be some coverage in there as well. I'm not totally sure on that, but not for me. So how do you pay for them? There's multiple ways, and these were actually suggested to me by the Hanger Clinic. So one is fundraising, doing things like GoFundMe. I know it may feel a little funny to ask for help like this, but you'll be amazed at the people that are willing to come out and help and see you succeed and know what you've been through with your condition. So I would suggest doing it. And plus, here's the real benefit. It's a huge motivation to keep going. These people are giving you their hard-earned money to see you succeed, and you cannot let them down. So that really helps you push and to keep going to get stronger. There's grants. So for me, and those with hemophilia, ask your HTC. They usually have some funds set aside for stuff that insurance doesn't cover. And they can also connect you with the regional HFA or NHF, to add some funds to that as well. And just a tip, from my past experience with fundraising and nonprofits, the number one reason that charities don't get donations is because they simply just don't ask. It's a ask and you shall receive kind of thing. Lastly, there's Care Credit. Care Credit is a credit card that you can apply for medical expenses that have 0% interest if you pay them within the agreed amount of time with the facility. So the Care Credit makes agreements with each facility that they are accepted at, and Hanger is one of them. So for Hanger, their agreement with Care Credit is 18 months. So you pay off the amount in 18 months, 0% interest. So that's what I did. So everything that I didn't get through fundraising and grants, I just put it on that credit card, pay it off monthly. Can I stand for long periods of time? So this is basically undetermined. I think it depends on your condition. You know, for me, the worst part prior to having the ExoSyms was, you know, standing. I could walk for longer periods than I could stand just because I kept moving, kept the joints moving and fluid, I guess. But so far it's been, you know, it's been good. It's been a huge improvement. So, you know, basically what you can do is you can stand here. I only have one on right now, but you can stand here and lean up against that cuff, and you are essentially taking, you know, some weight bearing off that ankle joint. And it's been pretty good. Been able to walk very long with these things, but yeah, standing, it's much improved with these. And what about shoes? So for this, I needed to get all new shoes, which was kind of disappointing because I've had shoes that look like brand new since high school. Kind of collected a couple of them. Can't wear them anymore. Still have them in there in the event that, you know, something better comes out, that I can just put my regular shoes back on and go. They're in the box, packed away. All my good ones. The other ones I gave away. But you'll need wide shoes. Luckily for me, I can just get a whole set because I have 2 devices. For those of you that only need one device, you'll need to get 2 separate size shoes. I think there's a couple of companies out there that allow for 2 separate sizes. Not sure what they are, but there's other ExoSym users that can point you in the right direction there. There's also this place out in Washington while you're there that I suggest you go to 100%. It's called Wide Shoes Only. And man, I can tell you, this guy knows more about shoes and feet than most doctors do. He can definitely hook you up with the right pair, tell you all about them, why you would like them, which ones work well, which ones don't. And he's able to drop ship them anywhere in the United States. And you'll also get a free pair. You'll also get a free pair of Brooks Ghost 13s with your ExoSyms from the Hanger Clinic. These actually are my favorite ones that I have so far, so I'll probably be repeating these as well. All right, how do you drive with them on? So you'll learn, you kind of gotta pick your whole leg up, use your quad a little bit more, but you'll get it, and you'll get the feel for it. You're allowed to practice in the parking lot at the Hanger Clinic to learn how to do it in your rental car, whatever it is. But yeah, you'll use most of like picking up your quad, your whole leg to do it instead of using the ankle joint. And you'll get used to it. You'll get sore. I actually got sore from learning how to drive. My quad was on fire learning to do it, but you'll get used to it. Where can I find information on them? So I get to ask this one a lot. They don't really have a website. I'm not sure the reason for that, but like I said, you can email them at exosym@hanger.com and they'll provide you with the details. Also take to YouTube. Just search for ExoSym and a ton of Hanger official videos will come up, as well as unofficial patient reviews, people doing different things in them, walking, their own kind of reviews like this that we're doing. I'm kind of doing this more as a resource for people, something I wish I had going into it. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube, Instagram, see what other people are doing. That's how I found it again. Search for the hashtag ExoSym, a bunch of stuff will come up on there. Plus you can always reach out to me for specific questions and concerns you might have, and I'll see if I can help you out. All right, what can I do now that I couldn't do before? First and foremost, I can basically do all the things that I did before, but without pain. Another thing is I can run again. Working back up to running distance is a little hard, but I'll get there. And that's not only because of trying to use proper form with the devices, but I don't got the cardio anymore. It's a little tough to get going. The side stickers are hitting pretty hard. but you get there. It's just a long learning, slow process. I can do countless hours of work and still be able to do social items without pain afterwards. So the first week coming home from Gig Harbor, I came home to a bunch of storm damage. I hauled away 4 trailers of branches, cut up the tree, split the wood, cleaned up the yard, cut the grass, and then still was able to go to a graduation party afterwards and stand the whole time. I didn't sit. And there was no way that was possible for me all in one day before, like not at all. I can exercise at the gym. I mean, these things have held up to leg presses that, over 500 pounds. And it's been great for that. I can golf. Second week back, I went on a 3-day tournament and I improved on my score from the previous year when I didn't have the devices. It is a learning process on how to golf in these things, but it worked, and I obviously did better than the year before, so I can't complain about that. I can do lots of things, and I'm still testing the waters, so stay tuned to my Instagram page, and as I try things out and see how it goes. All right, do I still have pain? Truthfully, yes, but less and less every day as I learn the technique better and better. Remember, I'm trying to undo walking correctly for the last 15 years and trying to erase 15 years of the same habit. That's tough, and no matter what you're doing. The pain that I have is only caused by me, but I see everything going in the right direction, all the time. And I know there's gonna be some setbacks, but it'll all be worth it. What are the pros and cons? So this is kind of a summary here. So the pros, it's an unlimited potential, really. No pain in doing basic things. I can walk as long as my legs and my cardio will take me. I can run again. Will I get back to competitive basketball? I don't know, but I can shoot around in the driveway for countless hours again like I used to. You can customize them. People have all sorts of different stickers and designs, and they draw on them and paint on them and do everything. Me, I have a Cam Hanes Keep Hammering sticker there for a little motivation. They're pretty cool looking. Not to be insensitive to others that have leg braces, but these look more like exercise equipment than they do a medical device. So I actually find myself wearing shorts more to show them off a little bit. I think they're pretty cool. Kids look at me and say, "Oh, Iron Man," Inspector Gadget. It's pretty cool. People will come up to you and ask you questions. They'll comment. They'll just ask about them, and it's not really anything to be ashamed of, really. So you can tell them. Maybe they have somebody that they know that has an ankle injury or has been struggling with some lower limb injury or club foot or whatever it might be, and you can help them out. So why not? And you'll get some looks though, however, where people just turn around and look at it and not know what it is. But I think they're pretty cool looking. So the cons, the biggest con that I can think of is not the cost or having to fly out to Washington or relearning how to walk and going through this whole process. It's actually this little tiny edge on the front right here. I'll show you on this other. This little edge. So you really don't know where your knees are or how much that little bit extra makes a difference. You can see here, a little inch or so, how much that makes a difference. So it's a pretty strong edge. It will scratch everything up. Your furniture, the dash in your car. I've ripped a fingernail off not fingernail off, but ripped part of the fingernail off doing deadlifts. Got multiple scrapes on my hands and fingers from doing that as well. So yeah, I mean, that's really about it. The cost and the flight become no big deal when you realize it's what these braces can do. So I hope this video helped clarify some items. I hope it helped at least one person out. Again, feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions, and I'll see what I can do for you. Thanks, everyone.